Now, another of the topics we might look at in economics is inequality. We might be concerned about whether it's rising and what we can do about it. And this is one of those ones that's both really actually a micro and a macro issue. Inequality of income between different, say, occupations would be micro, as I said earlier, but the impact of inequality on the economy as a whole would be a macro issue. It's not easy to measure inequality. There's lots of different ways of measuring it. For example, are we interested in inequality of income or of wealth? So income is what you earn, wealth is how much you own. If we look at just one measure of income, which is the amount of income going to the top 1% of people in the UK, we can see 1937, it was about 12.5%. And by 1976 it had gone down to 4%, and by 2000 it had gone back up to 10% again. So we've had a stage where we were fairly equal to society, and now that's starting to change again. Does it matter? Some people think it's a good thing. High inequality gives you an incentive to get on in life and to study hard so that you're not poor. Although others think it's a real big issue and is actually having a dampening effect on our economic performance going forward as well. Okay, now one of the major goals of macroeconomics is to increase economic growth. And the reason why I want to increase economic growth is because that leads to rising incomes for people, and generally economists assume that more income makes you happier. In the second year though, we might question that. We could look at the evidence. Does more money actually really make you happier? So when we're looking at this, that's a macro issue. I mean, if we was look at, does it make you as an individual happier if you have more money? That would be micro. But does it make everybody on average happier if they've got more income? That would be a macro issue. Okay, another economic issue is, should you go to university? And again, on an individual level and on a macro level, they're different kinds of analysis. So on a macro level, we might say, well, does having more university graduates increase the level of innovation, the skills in the economy, and therefore lead to more growth? Or on the micro level, I mean, we could look at the difference between pay between university graduates and non-graduates and say, is there a payoff? And by the way, the payoff will obviously vary depending on what year you graduate. So I'm talking about doing this now in October 2020, and everyone in the news is talking about graduates being stuck in their dorms, not being able to get out under lockdown. I'm more worried about those people that have just graduated, because these people that have just graduated, they're not going to get a good job this year. It's going to be very hard to do so, and that can affect their future lifetime income. So what kind of job can you get if you study economics? Well, most economics graduates don't become economists. That's a very specialist field. They normally end up working in, say, banking and finance, accountancy, or just general business roles. If you're really, really bad, you end up becoming an economics teacher. So here's a group of fairly well-known people. Some of them you may recognise. All of them did economics as a degree. Okay, they may have not done entirely an economics degree. Rishi Sunak, for example, who's the current Chancellor of the Exchequer, in top right hand corner, he did a degree in politics, philosophy and economics, but hey, there's bits of economics in there. Some of you don't know, so do you know who is in the top left hand corner? That's Warren Buffett. He's one of the richest men in the world. And in the bottom right hand corner, that's Gita Gopinath. She's the chief economist at the IMF. Now you will notice there's lots of men there and only Gita down there as the woman, and that's quite normal in economics. So we don't get enough girls studying it. So it would be encouraging. I would like to see a few more girls in the classroom studying economics instead of, say, psychology and earning more money in the future. Let's go to a brief clip of Gita talking about her role in the IMF, and you'll get an idea again of some economic issues that we want to address. Okay, thanks for that, Geeta. By the way, Geeta is the same age as me. So one of the things we can learn from watching that clip is don't become a teacher, kids. What we can also learn, if we remember our previous slide and all those famous people, is that if you study economics, we can pretty much 100% guarantee that you'll end up running the country, if not the world. You'll become a rock star or a movie star, be great at sport and funny, and be one of the richest people in the world. That's definitely going to happen. There is some small print around that guarantee, but let's not bother reading that. Let's just move on swiftly to the final slide. Okay, I'm coming to the end of my little chat now. I hope it's given you some insight into the sort of things while studying economics. We couldn't cover everything. There's lots of other things we didn't address, but it gives you a taste at least. If it has piqued your interest, you might be interested in looking at some more stuff online. So there's a load of A-level economics teachers, and two of the best are probably tutors to you, Jeff Riley and Econ Plus Dow, who have loads of clips online. And there's some really good American teachers as well. So there's Jacob Clifford and the Marshall Revolution University, who do clips that are kind of would be about the same level as A-level. So I hope that has made you a bit more interested in economics, and I would encourage you to look further into the subject. And thank you very much, and goodbye.